you can join us today because you ever hear the phrase, sometimes the urgent outweighs the important? And that's what happens, I think, a lot in real estate, right? I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. You have your plans for the day, you're all set up, and all of a sudden, your listing has a water leak, or someone didn't show up, or, something didn't appraise where it was going to. There's always some urgent thing. But the fact of the matter is, you need to really put that important up there. And one of the most important things you can do for not only for your business, but for yourself, is to really take the time to understand what your goals are. And it can be daunting when you look at goals and say, how am I going to take all of this on? I've got all this other stuff going on. And that's why we're really excited to have Debra Eckerling here today. She is a goal setting strategist. And so she's going to share things with us today that it's not so daunting. She actually has created something called the Deb Method, which stands for Determine Your Mission, Explore Your Options, and Brainstorm Your Path. So it's goal setting simplified. I'm also very excited. Any of you who have joined us for Wanda Allen, Wanda has highly endorsed Debra, and that's how we had the pleasure of getting to meet Debra. So this is really going to be a great session. She is a published and award-winning author on Your Goal Guide. And without further ado, I'm going to turn this on over to Debra Eckerling. Thank you, Debra.
And thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. And as I said, when we met, any friend of Wanda's is a friend of mine. So we were like instant. And exactly what you said, you can't get what you want unless you know what that is. And that's why it's so important, not just to set goals, but to think about the big picture. When you think about the life you want, what does that look like? So anybody who feels like sharing in the chat, what do you want? Why are you here? And what stops you from achieving your goals? And hopefully we will cover all of that. But yeah, feel free to let me know more about you, why you're here, and how I can help, because that's what it's all about. You can't reach your goals on your own. You need your peeps, which is why organizations like this, sessions like this are so important. I don't know, I get to meet a bunch of new friends today, and ideally, some of you are meeting each other for the first time. You need that tribe, because that's how you reach your goals. So I'm going to share a screen and we will get started. But really, we're going to be talking about how to set and achieve your personal and professional goals, because it isn't just about work. Yes, it's important. we need to be earning, and there's a reason you're in this business, but it's also essential to find that balance. And as I said before, to get what you want, you need to know what that is. So when you think about the life you want, what is it? What is your Goaltopia? And Goaltopia is a word I made up for my book because this word didn't exist, but it's really achieving your goals and living the life you desire. So why are you here? What is your goal? Oh, I'm a little bit out of order. That's okay. Do you want to be known in your field? Are you looking to build up your business, expand your reach, build a new business, or achieve that ever important work-life balance? These are all attainable. And usually you want more than one of these goals. One of the things I was very proud of in my book is I was managed to bucket all goals into these 4 categories: become known expert, build a business, expand your career, achieve work-life balance. Because if you don't have the balance, what is the point? So about me, I am Debra Eckerling. I am a workshop leader and corporate consultant. My goal journey started many years ago. I was doing events for Barnes & Noble, and someone walked in one day and said, "We start a writer support group." And for me, that meant, okay, what are you working on? What do you need? How can we help? And that's what launched me on this journey. Many years later, I'll just say I've lived in LA for more than 20 years, and I started goal groups even before that. And because in leading the group, I saw the power of setting and achieving your goals firsthand. And it's these techniques, these strategies have become the Deb Method. So that is the short version of how I got here. A couple other things, because again, the personal is just as important as a professional. I love cooking for productivity, dancing for exercise, and talking for fun. The last thing I'm sure will be evident, and I will probably mention the first two as we discuss. So let me know, what is your goal? What is that thing that you want? Please feel free to share that in the chat. And if you ever want to chime in during, just, raise your hand, or we'll pause in between the letters of the Deb for questions. And so what is the Deb method? Well, Deb stands for determine your mission, explore your options, brainstorm your path. Determine your mission. You can't get what you want unless you know what that is, but also, where are you now and where are you going? And what is the impetus behind this desired career? Why do you do what you do? Explore your options. You're all real estate professionals, so you probably pretty much know what you're doing and why, but we'll delve into this a little bit. And then brainstorm your path, mapping out your goals so you set yourself up for success. And that's really all I talk about. It's all about setting yourself up for success, because why put in the time, energy, effort if you're not going to have that happy life? Sure, you can set goals. I want to earn this much money. I want to be the top in this. I want to be the best at that. But unless you've got that background, that why, your why, then will these wins really be as fulfilling? So let's start with D, determine your mission. And yes, I mentioned this before. When you think about the life you want, what does that look like? Are you on the cover of a magazine, Real Estate Professional of the Year? Did you write a book sharing secrets about the real estate trade that people don't tell you? What is that thing? Do you want to be the #1 in your territory, win awards? What does that look like for you? And beyond that visualization, the one in your mind, if you can, and I highly recommend it, create some sort of physical visual representation. Now, vision boarding, that's a whole nother tangent, which is great. If you want to look at the big picture, all the different things that you want, and you look and you see, because when you could see the reality you're trying to create, that adds so much fuel. But even if it's just one or two things, some visualization, a picture of you with an award in your hand, a mock-up of a magazine extolling how awesome you are, whatever that visualization is for you, just create it. It's not going to take that long. You can go into a program like Canva, which is what I use for my presentation, and just mock up that visualization, print it out, put it on your screensaver, whatever, because knowing what you want is one thing, but seeing it, keeping your eye on that prize, is so another. So what is your visualization? Feel free to share that in the chat, or we'll take a little bit of interaction time after we get through this section. The next thing you want to do is write your current bio. And I'm sure you all have a version of it somewhere, you're professionals, but think about your bio in terms of a little bit aspirational. I am the best, the #1 seller, or a top seller in this territory, in this area, in commercial, in personal. What are your unique characteristics? Why are you so good at this? Why were you born to sell? Why were you born to help people find their dream homes? Whatever it is that drives you, find a way to put in your current bio. And if it makes sense, you can use that, or you can just keep that again next to your visualization when looking at the where you are. And then, of course, next is you want to write your future bio, where you're going. Now, what is the future? Used to be you could plan 5 years ahead and you knew what was in front of you. The last 2 years have shown us anything is things change, plans change, but your aspirations, your desires, they're still out there. They're still completely valid, and they're still within your control. So think about what you want your bio to say by the end of the year. What would make you really happy to be able to claim that you sold X number of houses, you earned this amount of money? Whatever is a good milestone for you. Put that in the future bio. Again, this is for you. So it can be whatever you want. And it can be by the end of the year. You could do one for 5 years from now. Think big, because you want to be aiming for big. You're here, you know the value of the goals. You want to invest in your future. So decide what that future is. And once you know where you are and where you're going, then it's time to create that all important mission statement. We've all probably worked for companies that have a mission statement or a vision statement. So how many of you, though, have created a mission statement for yourself? And the mission statement is pretty much the who you are, what makes you unique, what you do, but most importantly, in what ways do you help? And in your case, help selling, putting people in homes, putting businesses in office space, whatever that is, helping close the deal, helping with the escrow. What is it that you do and why do you do it? Bringing people together, and how do you help? And again, it can also be to inform, to educate, to entertain. These webinars, Marketing Monday, part of the mission of Escrow Options is to help the people in your sphere do better, educate, inform, bring them the resources so they can do more business and you can all build together. And so my mission statement is something along the lines of, my mission is to help as many people as possible figure out what they want and how to get it using my experience, expertise, and my system for goal setting simplified, so they can live the life they want and improve other people's lives. So very long, very detailed, can be as detailed as you want. That's why your motto is so important. And of all the things I talk about, this is honestly one of my favorites. Your motto is that fun, catchy 3 to 5 word phrase that really embodies the who you are and what you stand for. Maybe your mission is to put people in their first home so they can build a better life. So your motto could be something like, first home future, or better life through your home, or making a house a home. Whatever that fits within you want to take your mission statement and pull out those keywords and find a motto that suits you and your personality. So my mission, very obvious, I think. My motto, goal setting simplified. It embodies everything that I do, whether I am teaching, whether it's my book, I am speaking to a group, working one-on-one. It's all about simplified, because changing your life is challenging enough. The instructions need to be easy. So I made them really easy. So think about your mission statement and think about your motto. What are those words? What are you the king of or the queen of that really will drive you, but to also use as a lens by which you view opportunities? So does anybody want to share? And if no one does, I'm going to probably pick on you, Allie. I hope that's okay. What is your mission? What is your motto? What is that thing that really drives you? Because I think it'd be helpful, to share and see what other ideas are coming from this. So what do you think? Anybody want to chime in? Or Allie, can we talk about your mission and motto?
I'm sorry, I was letting some people in. So yes, we can talk about my mission and motto. So business-wise, really just being here. My mission is to be of service and help the agents that I work with create and realize greater success, because together we win. And that is really where I come from a motto, is together we win.
I was going to say together we win is like perfect. And it also, look at how you shine when you say those words, because you really believe in them.
Right.
And that's so important. And you can even, if you have trouble figuring out your motto, borrow a theme song. what is that? And this is also great for personal mottos. I don't know how many people watching remember Ally McBeal and how our therapist says, pick a theme song, something that you can listen to when you're down that is going to lift your spirits up. So it could be instead of or in addition to your personal and or business motto, to have that theme song. And whenever you need that burst, you could just say, hey Siri, or hey Alexa, don't want to set mine off, play my theme song, have a nice dance break. See, I warned you, that would probably come into conversation. And then you've got that energy to bring to you. I love Together We Win. That is awesome. Anybody else want to share or have any questions?
I love your idea of a theme song too. That's music is very inspirational, I've actually put together various playlists that are inspirational. So it's very helpful on a down day, because even the cheeriest of us can have them, right? Is to go ahead and play that playlist and help get that mindset back where I want it.
Mm-hmm. And Roxana has a question.
Go ahead, Roxana.
Yeah, I sent it in the chat. Are we using motto as short for mission? Motto, mission statement, are they the same? Are they interchangeable terms? Or
the mission statement is like the long form of who you are, what makes you unique, what you do, and how you help. And the motto is just a short form of that.
okay, all right.
So Ally likes to help her partners succeed. Together we win is her motto, which is perfect because, and again, Marketer Monday is a great example of this, bringing people together to build together. Love that.
It looks like we have
Thank you, got it.
We have a few mottos that are being shared here in the chat.
Should we just write them down in the chat, or should we share? Oh, this is Laura.
Oh, hi, Laura. You're already unmuted. Feel free to share.
Well, you know what? I'm always trying to think of one and work on one, but I really strive to really, my thing is to educate others in the process of home buying, especially in the Hispanic community. So I strive to educate. So that's kind of what my motto is. I'm always trying to reword it the right way, but educate others in the process of home buying in the Hispanic community, and all. I just don't want to say just the Hispanic community, but to include everybody. So that's where I kind of struggle with my motto.
I think just educate communities and home buying is very encompassing.
Okay, perfect.
And again, that's actually something you can use, as part of your LinkedIn, educating communities and home buying. Sometimes your motto is going to just be fun. Someone put in the chat, her theme song is This Girl Is on Fire. I love it. My theme song is I Ain't Settlin' by Sugarland. So, and having those theme songs, keeping those personal, but to have a motto that is also a tagline is also great for your business. I don't have to, my motto is right under my logo, so it's always in my face. But again, your mission statement is long and it's great because the more detailed, the better. But the purpose of the motto is to pull out those key words, that key lens, because as opportunities come your way, perhaps, Laura, someone is going to say, oh, well, will you talk to this big corporation about educating them on home buying? And you can say, you know what, it's not really my field, but it might put me in front of other people. So is it directly related to your motto? No. Can it benefit you? Probably. So when you have a motto, as opportunities come your way, you can look at it through that lens.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for chiming in. Anyone else want to share? Okay, I guess we can go on to the next bit, shall we? Okay. I hope you're having fun, because the purpose too. If you are not having fun in everything you do, rather, when you have fun doing the things that you do, it shows. When you're not having fun, it really, really shows. So as you're looking towards your mission and exploring what that means for you and your business, remember that element, that excitement, which is the other reason why the mission statement and the motto is so important. It's that baseline that you can build from.
And Deborah, if I can ask you, so do you look at your current bio, also having a simplified version, like the elevator speech, if you will?
Oh, that's perfect. It's really, your bio can be 1 paragraph, it can be 3 pages. Okay, 3 pages is excessive. It can be 2 lines, a paragraph, or a whole page. But looking at it as your elevator pitch, what are 2 lines that really embody the who you are, what you do? And then the future bio, and it should always be written in the 3rd person in the present tense, you know, a mind thing. You want to write it as if it's happening. But what do you want people to say about you a year from now, 5 years from now? What do you want to make true? And shorter is always better. Sometimes it's easier to write long. The other trick with the bio, if you're stuck on it, is after you've done a networking event is the best time to write your bio, because you've just introduced yourself a bunch of times and all of your best attributes are going to be front of mind. And so another little trick to deal with, because people get caught up in their own head on a lot of these things. You have my permission. Just put everything out there, figure it out later, because that's, again, simple. Okay, so you have your mission. You know who you are, what you love, why you do what you do. Now we explore your options. Now, normally I'd spend a little bit more time on this, go more detailed, but considering we're all in the real estate industry, just think about a couple things. Think about your specialty. Think about your priority. Are you looking for thought leadership? Do you have a successful business and you want to help others? Or do you want to help others in tandem with building your business?
Hey, honey.
Do you want to build your book of business? Are you looking to expand your territory or industry? I think we should probably mute. Okay. And then think about your priority and what will it take. You want to be a thought leader. What does that mean? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to be speaking, leading workshops, leading webinars? Do you want to build your business? What does that mean? More networking. Do you need to meet more people who do similar but different people, different things? Do you want to have a cup of coffee with Allie to see how her connections and her ideas would help you? Do you need to connect with Kimberly? Networking, which I'll talk a little bit more later, is all about meeting more people, but getting to know more people, seeing who is in alignment with who you are and how you can benefit each other. Expanding your territory or industry. Do you need to meet more people in a particular industry? Maybe you've got this great niche, but you want to expand to a different corporate industry. So look at what makes sense for you. And again, thinking to that life you want, what does that mean for you and what will it take? This makes sense? Any questions? I do not know. I did not invite that frog to visit my throat. 1 second. So explore your options. It's the research phase, really diving into what your specialty is and what you need to create to turn it into reality. And again, you may already know the answer. If you don't, a great way to look into it is to do some journaling, some brainstorming. Just throw all your ideas out on the page, answering these questions, and then reviewing it to pick the things that speak to you more directly, that excite you. saying, I love working in corporate, but what I really want to do is benefit the restaurant industry. What sorts of, how do I get into that niche, and who do I know who knows people in that niche so I can build? So take the inventory of what you know and what you need to know to set some of those goals. And when we have those goals, we make a plan. And so Brainstorm Your Path is all about throwing everything out there, dividing and conquering. So you know who you are, what you want, you've got these goals, short-term, long-term, personal, professional. And the trick is to write everything down. And I'm talking the easy goals because you want to get wins right away, the dream goals because without dreams, what is the point? And everything in between. And it can include things like creating a website. It can create because you want to be known as a thought leader. It can include things as spending time developing your LinkedIn presence so you could be doing more networking. So throw everything out there, categorize them, divide and conquer, map them out. So the way we look at it is action items build to benchmarks, benchmarks build to short-term goals make up long-term goals. And then the idea is to look at all the things you want and then schedule those action items. So for example, if farming is the thing that you need to do more of, what is that going to encompass for you? What do you need to do for your digital door knocking? What do you need to do to increase your marketing? What do you need to do for your social media? Maybe you're not using social media. And I believe you just had a lot of this covered. So you should know all the things that you need to do to build these marketing and social media plans. Write them all down. What are the little things you need to do? You need to create your presence. Great. Do you need to do the graphics? Do you have the name for your social media accounts? Is it in alignment with your company, or do you have this for yourself individually? Write down all the things you need to do, what action items will lead to each benchmark, and which benchmarks bring you to reaching those short-term goals. Listing the sale. What is that process? You've got the paperwork to get started, the staging, the listing, hosting the open houses, doing the showings, doing negotiation. What are all the different elements that need to be done to hit each of these benchmarks? And as these benchmarks come together to get to the short-term goal of listing the sale and making the sale. Finding homes for the client, doing it. I should have in here, meeting the client. How do you get to the client? Developing relationships, open house plans, showings, negotiation again. If you're selling, what, especially in, I would believe in like the corporate world, but also in the personal world, you've got the inspections, you've got escrow, you've got paperwork. What are the different action items that lead to each of these benchmarks? And of course, continuing education. What is the frequency? How many webinars, seminars? What do you need to do each month, each year to keep your license active? What other things can you do for continuing education to amp up your skills? This is what we're doing today. It's continuing education. Is it considered a CE credit? No, but it will help you in building your business. So look not just at things that will educate you that you need for your licensing, but what can you do to level up? And then networking. I used to say back when nothing was digital and everything was in real life, that one networking event a week was always a good goal. Now I say at least 3 is good. Try to aim for one networking meetup mixer each week, one educational, and one one-on-one where you're doing a Zoom or in real life coffee, getting to know someone and see how can you help each other. And also for something like networking, maybe it's not so mapped out, maybe it's the networking goals. Okay, I'm going to do 3 events a week. Let me brainstorm all the different things that I would consider networking, all the different organizations that offer education, mixers, and what are other things that aren't necessarily directly related to realty that would be good for me for networking. Because you might meet a client in a cooking class. You don't know. And of course, when you're going to these non-business focused networking events, just keep an open mind. You're not there to sell them. They might not be your client, but everybody you know knows people, just like you know people, but the people you meet don't know. So it's all about increasing your network, because when you know more people, you can help more people. Going back to the mission. And again, as you're mapping out your process, keep your mission, but is much easier, keep your motto in mind. Okay, my motto is to bring people together, or together everybody wins. Great. What does that mean? What sorts of continuing education events can I create to bring people together? What sort of meetups do I need to go to where I can find like minds and develop relationships? So you want to brainstorm everything, divide, and then map things out. And of course, you always want to set deadlines, because deadlines and or benchmarks. So maybe it's 20 calls a week, maybe it's 50 showings a month. Whatever these things are, you want your list. So as you do the things, you can keep track, and also keep track of those wins, which we will also get into. Are there any questions about exploring your options, brainstorming your path, and or making a plan?
I just want to say I love that you've outlined, mapping out your process, because I think that puts some metrics to the goal, so that if somebody has these huge goals, I want to do 30 transactions this year, 15 buy, 15 sell. But when they start mapping out their process and they're only, making 20 calls a week, that's not necessarily going to get you there, right? So is that kind of your thinking behind mapping out that process, is to make sure that the goals are realistic, as long as the activity is matching that energy?
It's yes, you said it perfectly. Look to and we'll use your example. Okay, if I want to get a new client, what are all the action items I need to do that? Is it 20 calls? Is it 30 calls a week? Is it 4 networking events? Is it 5 networking events? Is it meeting more people who can introduce me? Is it going through more walkthroughs? What are all of the things you need to do, and to do that consistently? And I'll go more into this in a minute, but make the appointments to do the things. It's not just about having that list. It is about doing the things on the list. But I mentioned this before about setting yourself up for success. Only take on as much as you can do, because if you take on too much, you're constantly trying to catch up with yourself. Okay, I've already started saying this, so I might as well go to the next thing. And I'm going to do this out of order, because the thing that I'm talking about right now is the 5 of 7 rule. And that is really my code for stop trying to do more than you can do. A lot of goal setting experts, and I use the air quotes because I have opinions, say, no, you've got to do something every day. Don't break the chain. Keep moving forward. It is perfectly fine to be thinking about your business every day, to really explore what you can be doing. But the actual work, if you say, oh, I'm just going to do 15 minutes a day, no problem. Well, if you miss one day, you're like, that's okay, I'll make it up tomorrow. 30 minutes. Oh, That's fine. I can do 45 minutes on Tuesday. Well, if you didn't have 15 minutes on Sunday, you're not going to have an hour on Wednesday. My 507 rule is me giving you permission to skip the days that you can't do things on. Granted, thinking counts. If you're only thinking, then that's cheating. So no one wants that. But to find that balance, look at your calendar and see, okay, I need to do 5 hours of farming this week, but I've got this big webinar or this big continuing education thing on Friday. It's going to take up all my day. I'm going to have to do only 4 hours. And that's okay, because maybe you'll make it up the next week, or maybe the next week you'll just get back to 5. But look at your life and then put the activities in there. And this is probably a little bit less relevant because I don't know how many people watching are authors, but it's a good example nonetheless. Let's say you really want to write a book, you've got this great experience, you've got something to share, you're going to write it in a month. Well, if you're working your job 50 to 60 hours a week and you've got a family, where are you going to find those hours to write that book? And that's really for any kind of passion project. Maybe you want to start a podcast, maybe, fine, start that podcast, but maybe give yourself 2 months to ramp up, because you can only spend an hour or 2 a week in your planning phase. And then once you get to it, then you can maybe do like 2 hours because you've got all the systems in place. Look at your life and then put the things into it, which goes, I said before, we're going to go out of order. To-do lists are my favorite. And if you're not keeping them, start. It's okay. It's never too late. To-do lists are your friend. And I look at to-do lists the same way that I look at mapping out goals. You want to write everything down, divide and conquer. So I do a list at the beginning of the week, and it's divided into, speaking, book-related activities, client activities, article writing, personal projects. Those are probably my 5 buckets. So write it all out, divide it. And I start with I'm referencing my notebook because I always start with a paper list, and then I'll type it into a calendar appointment on Sunday. So I write the category, a header, and type in all the things. Articles, these are the articles I have to write this week. And then as I go through the week, I will check things off. I never scratch things out. I never delete it, which goes to tracking, because you want to see your accomplishments in progress. So you take your list, your electronic list, I always write done in all caps. And that way the following week you can copy it, paste it, delete the dones, and add in new things. And you can work back and forth within the list. I still like to write it out, and then I will edit my electronic list as well. But and you could do your list all one way or all the other. I just think it's helpful to have both, because there's something about writing something down in a place that you can look at like whenever. That's super helpful. So you've got your list, then go into your calendar and schedule the time to do the things. So we'll go back to the marketing. Let's say you've got 2 hours for marketing. You're going to give yourself a half an hour a day, 4 days. Give yourself maybe it's a half an hour Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday or Friday, you take a half an hour to schedule your post for the following week, something like that. The trick with the schedule versus tracking your time is put the appointments in. If you have to move them, you can, but you can't delete them. So you're looking at your calendar, seeing what you can commit to. Realistically, if you could do more, great, but I'd rather you schedule to do a little bit less. And if you can overdo, under promise, over deliver, better. Put those appointments in, and then, like I said, you can move them, don't delete them. Write in either the title or the description what you accomplished during that time, because at the end of the week or the end of the month, when you feel like you're not getting anywhere, you can easily review what you've accomplished and say, oh, I did like 30 hours this month in marketing, and I made these 7 new connections and I sent out 20 referral request emails and whatever. I'm doing well. So to be tracking your wins, which you can do on your calendar or in a separate document, it's going to help you because it's going to keep you motivated and keep you excited. You're like, okay, I put this time in. It's working. I'm getting things done. Again, only schedule what you can do, because if you put in too much, you start canceling on yourself. Never cancel on yourself. That's the other rule. You want to treat these appointments with as much, if not more, respect than you would keep an appointment with a boss or a client. It's you. You should have the most respect for yourself, for your own time. But to look at these appointments as like a gift to yourself. I'm building my business, and to build my business, I need to do these things. My time is valuable. And roles and rewards, other super important thing. The rules, maybe 5 hours a week on this, 20 outreaches, 30 meetings, whatever those are. And then each time you reach one of these mini goals, reward yourself. And, little rewards for little wins, big rewards for big wins. Of course, the best win is, to achieve your goals. Give yourself a reward system. Create something that makes sense for you. It's going to bring the joy. So, and I didn't even talk about the first thing on this list, which is to post your goals everywhere. And I think it's completely realistic to have at any given time, let's say 3 long-term goals, 3 short-term goals. 3 long-term personal goals, 3 long-term professional goals, 3 long-term, I'm saying this funny. You want to set 3 each of professional goals, personal goals, long-term and short-term. Yeah, that made much more sense. And keep that list somewhere. When I talk, I know you can't see the screen, but I'm always gesturing to my right because that's where I keep my list, my visual representation, my dream big list, I call it. So I actually have, in addition to a future bio, like 5 things that I'm working towards for my own future, as well as the long-term and short-term personal and professional goals that I'm working on at any time. So you want to be looking at that, keep your eye on the prize moving forward. So you want to be having your goal list, your motto, and your visual representation in your line of sight at all times. And it can be on your wall in your office. It could be on your phone as your background. You can have it on as your screensaver, or your wallpaper on your computer. Whatever makes sense for you, do all the things, because doing that, you will build up and you will set yourself up for success. Any questions? I will add, and then let me go through a couple more things, and then we can go off of screen share, and then I can answer any more questions. Sound good? Okay. This is me. So in addition to workshops, I do goal strategy sessions for individuals, workshops for businesses and organizations. I also do goal strategy for events. So if you're going to a conference and you need a goal strategy plan so you get more out of it than eye strain and exhaustion, I can help set you up for that as well. In my Deb sessions for individuals, I will go through the Deb method. So we will determine your mission, explore your options, brainstorm your path, and set you on a path for success. You can learn more about this at thedebmethod.com/goals. And if you mention escrow options, I will also throw in a copy of my book, which is available ebook, audiobook, and actual book. I like the book because it's also like super simple and worksheets in the back and lots of fun. And the other thing that I will say is, so the first half of the book, if you're more DIY type, will take you through Deb. And then the second half of the book is Strategies for Success. And I'm thrilled to meet you. Please connect with me. I will put this in the chat, but you can reach out directly at info@thedebmethod.com. Website debmethod.com/goals. My book you can find on Amazon or at your favorite place to buy books. I also have a Facebook group for people reading your goal guide so they can ask questions and share their journey. And you can follow the Deb Method everywhere for inspiration and motivation. I lead a Twitter chat. I do a live show. I've got a YouTube channel. And above all else, please connect with me on LinkedIn and say this is where we met, because now you get to be part of my network and vice versa. Thank you so much for letting me share the Deb Method with you all today. And are there any, oh, I'm going to put my info in here. And if there are any questions, we have a few minutes, like 2.
Feel free to unmic yourself, guys, if you have any questions. Okay.
I think I overloaded your people with my information.
A lot of good information.
Like drinking from a fire hose, but you know, we get pieces here and there.
Well, like I said, it's very simple. And again, with my one-on-ones, we take an hour, it's recorded on Zoom, and you get the Zoom recording. And we just basically plan your life or your project or whatever. Or the book, the first half will walk you through these wonderful brainstorming exercises to help you figure out what you want and how to get it. So there you go.
Because you can't get what you want if you don't know what it is.
That's exactly
very true. Yeah.
And yes, that does get said frequently when I present, because it's true. That's what stops people from reaching their goals, because they overthink them, they underthink them, they don't have a plan. So I'm all about helping you set that foundation, so when you make your plan, you set yourself up for success.
They don't know where to start. Nobody does.
Nobody does, but that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yes, thank you so much. We so appreciate you being here for us, our agents. You know, Allie and I and Tom get so much out of every single speaker that we're lucky enough to have. It's fantastic. And we take those bits and pieces with us as well. And I know Allie would like to finish us off. So go right ahead.
Before I do, I think Ed had a question.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, Ed.
I just want to say thank you so much, Deborah, for this. It's a lot of information, but that's what we're looking for, to set up our goals and to balance between our personal life and the business, which is one of the hardest goals to achieve. Is there any way you can send us this PowerPoint?
Yes, Ed.
Okay.
Yes.
There you have the answer. And again, all of this is what?
Sorry, not the PowerPoint. I thought you meant the recording. I apologize.
Yeah, the recording. Yeah, usually.
No,
yeah, usually the PowerPoints I don't give out, because all this information is in the book, but I can do like a one sheet with the real estate specific stuff.
Okay, please.
And the recording will be on our YouTube channel. So we'll get that link out for everybody. And there was some questions about our next Marketing Monday. So as we're getting into the busy sales season, we're moving these more to monthly Marketing Mondays. So the first Monday in May, we have Stephanie Bonte-Lebert coming. She's the founder of Empowered Business Networking. She's the creator of Empowered Voice. And she's also an award-winning licensed certified level 4 BANK bank trainer. And basically we'll be talking about the personality science, and which is so critical to be able to quickly identify and read various personalities, because when you can connect on that deeper emotional level with your buyers, with your sellers, it makes such a difference on whether you're going to actually convert that listing appointment into a listing. And it also, understanding this will help you when you are presenting your buyer's offers to the listing agent on how you negotiate and how you connect so that your offer bubbles up and stands out. So it's a very valuable session. It's going to be called Convert More Listings and Win More Offers Using Personality Science. And that will be on Marketing Monday at 11 o'clock on May 2nd.
You know, you guys, we all talk about how real estate agents, we're people, we love people. It's all about that connection. And this is going to be an amazing speaker that we're so excited to have as well. Deb, you were amazing, Deborah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And I want to address one thing that Ed said that I didn't dive into nearly enough because so much to cover. Schedule appointments for your personal goals as well, because it's not just about those professional achievements if you're not living a happy, balanced life.
And Deborah, when you were talking about, personal goals, business goals, and you were also talking about visualization. So do you recommend sort of putting together one of those vision boards that incorporates personal and business visually up there?
Yes. And actually, I'll give you all like a bonus link. If you go to thedebmethod.com/VSH virtual scavenger hunt, that is my fun way to create your vision board.
Very cool.
But yes, put everything on it. I actually recommend both. Have like that one big standout visual representation and also do some form of vision board, because can't get what you want when you know what that is. And when you see it, it just makes it so much more powerful.
I'm a big fan of engaging all your senses. So I have a playlist that reinforces my #1 goals. I have a vision board that I look at. These are the things that kind of get me up out of bed in the morning when I'm tired. And so really, smelling, touching, tasting, and just being present in what it is you want to accomplish really helps. For me, it helps me get there. I loved your talk, Deborah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me. Good luck, everybody. And I just wish you the utmost success.
Who's getting her book and reading it?
Done.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Reach out. Please stay in touch.
Thank you, guys. We so appreciate you here at Escrow Options Group. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
We'll see you in Escrow.
you. Bye.